This is Jordan. A rising star at her club, Jordan gets invited to a national team training camp. On the second day of camp, a national team athlete strikes up a conversation. Matt touches Jordan's arm a couple of times and leaves his hand on her shoulder long enough to make Jordan feel awkward. She backs away, but doesn't say anything. It's her first training camp and she wasn't expecting this kind of behavior. The next morning, Matt compliments Jordan's outfit. He asks if she'd like to hang out during lunch. Jordan's a little uncomfortable, but she agrees. Over lunch, Matt tries to hold Jordan's hand, but she angrily pulls away. Brittany, another national team athlete, sees what happens and tells Matt he should back off. Concerned, Brittany tells one of the coaches about it. The coach says he'll talk to Matt. After a team dinner, Jordan complains about being stiff through her shoulders from all the training. Matt jokes that he could help out by giving her a massage. This makes Jordan really upset. She tells her coach about the situation and that she's too upset to stay at the training camp. The coach offers to meet with Matt. He asks Jordan if she wants to be part of that meeting, and she agrees. The coach also checks with Jordan to make sure she is comfortable having the meeting in the coach's office. After hearing from both athletes, the coach explains to Matt that comments and gestures can be harmful even if they weren't intended to be. He asks Matt to apologize for his behavior and to give Jordan some space. Matt agrees to leave Jordan alone but refuses to say he's sorry. Jordan isn't satisfied with Matt's response. The coach mentions that CKC has a safe sport program. He suggests that Jordan might want to talk to the program's independent third party. As the name suggests, the independent third party functions outside of Canoe Kayak Canada. They offer services in English and French through experts who identify as male and female. The independent third party explains to Jordan how the safe sport process works. Jordan weighs her options and decides to file a complaint. The independent third party writes to Jordan to confirm that her complaint will be handled independently at the national level because the alleged incidents occurred at a national team training camp. The independent third party can also suggest counseling services if Jordan is feeling emotional distress. If she needs legal support, she can consult the Sport Dispute Resolution Center of Canada's list of pro bono legal counsel. Jordan has filed a complaint with CKC's independent third party following a number of incidents at a national training camp. After accepting the complaint, the independent third party must consider several things. Which jurisdiction, national, provincial, territorial, or club should handle the complaint? If the complaint has been filed in a timely manner. Whether the complaint is frivolous, vexatious, or was filed in bad faith. For this case, the independent third party determines that it has been filed in a timely manner, that it is not frivolous or vexatious, nor filed in bad faith. It will be handled independently at the national level because the alleged incidents happened during a national team training camp. For incidents handled at either the national or provincial, territorial levels, the independent third party also decides if a formal investigation is needed. In this case, no investigation is required because the independent third party determines that it can go directly to a discipline panel. Most of the time, one person is appointed as the panel. For more serious allegations, the panel can include up to 3 independent experts. The independent third party must also consider whether there are grounds to make a recommendation for interim discipline. In this case, there is no recommendation for interim discipline against Matt. At any point, the independent third party can facilitate access to counseling services for one or more of the parties involved in the dispute. Based on CKC policy, the complaint is referred to an independent case manager appointed by CKC. The case manager cannot have any real or perceived conflict of interest with the case. In addition to managing all the administrative and logistical aspects, it's the case manager's job to ensure that it's a fair and timely process for everyone involved. The case manager recommends that Jordan and Matt consider mediation. This is a confidential process where an independent mediator helps the parties work towards a voluntary settlement. Mediation is often a good first step because it's more collaborative. It can also be quicker, less expensive, and can help restore damaged relationships. With the help of a skilled mediator, Jordan and Matt are able to resolve the dispute. Matt agrees to complete sensitivity training. Helpful educational resources are made available to other parties, and Jordan is offered additional counseling support. The parties may agree to keep the terms of the agreement confidential. Depending on the agreement, CKC may be required to implement some or all of the terms. Mediation may not be appropriate or effective in every safe sport case, so the CKC Safe Sport process also offers arbitration. Jordan has filed a complaint with CKC's independent third party following a number of incidents at a national training camp. With the help of an expert mediator, she is able to reach a mediated settlement with the respondent, Matt. In cases where mediation is not appropriate or is unsuccessful, the case manager would appoint an independent arbitrator. An arbitrator brings objectivity, independence, and neutrality to the dispute, and is chosen by the case manager based on experience and expertise in hearing safe sport cases. In CKC's Safe Sport program, the arbitrator is called the discipline panel and would be responsible for hearing the complaint. In more complex cases, the case manager may decide to appoint 3 arbitrators to the discipline panel. The hearing could take several forms: in person, by telephone, or video conference, based on a review of documents before the hearing, or a combination of these options. The discipline process is entirely confidential and only involves the parties, the legal counsel, the discipline panel, and the case manager. There may also be a CKC representative at the hearing, but only as an observer. After hearing the matter, the discipline panel would decide whether an infraction of any CKC policy had occurred. If so, the panel may also impose sanctions against the respondent. Possible sanctions can range from a verbal reprimand all the way to permanent expulsion from the sport. If there is found to be no infractions, then the complaint would be dismissed. The discipline panel must provide a written decision within 14 days of concluding the hearing. The decision would be a matter of public record, unless the discipline panel decides otherwise. In cases where no infraction has been found, the decision may only be published if the respondent agrees to it. The discipline panel's decision can be appealed by either party. CKC's appeal policy describes that process. To learn more about CKC's Safe Sport program, go to our website and click on Safe Sport. You will find policies, recorded webinars, and frequently asked questions. You can contact CKC's independent third party by sending an email to safesport_wwdrs@primus.ca. You can also find support through a free and confidential hotline set up with the support of Sport Canada and the Sport Dispute Resolution Centre of Canada. The Canadian Sport Helpline is staffed from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time 7 days a week.